Hello everyone, BT Rose 84 here. It's been a while since I uploaded that video saying I was back. I was just grinding. I got two teams ready for some content. So I'm gonna play around with this team first and play around with the other team. This team, I knew I had to do first once Megas were back. This is a slight variation of a team that I used in 2015 that took the New York, New Jersey area by storm. Like, people took notice. I might not have won too many, but like I top cutted constantly with this team. And I only won one Premier Challenge with it. I did well at mid-season showdowns with it. I got 38th at regionals with this team, even though I didn't really feel like I played all that well with it. But still, this team earned me a lot of championship points. It created a lot of buzz, especially in the New York, New Jersey area. And I used this towards the tail end of the 2015 format, as they were using it. It was the 2016 season, but before the format switched over, that's when I came up with this team. So it was after Worlds. And this team, like, if you played VGC towards the tail end of the 2015 format in the New York, New Jersey area, you've seen this team, then, well, you know who I am. But anyway, this team revolves around the Crocodile and activating its anger points. Now, to get there, in that format, it was Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, I believe. We had Dark Void. I had Dark Void Smeargle, and then Stormthroat into the Crocodile when I set myself up for it. Now, Dark Void got nerfed in the 7th generation, so that's no longer an option. Meaning, only Darkrai can use it, and it's only 50% accurate anyway. Even if I transferred something over with Dark Void, it'll say that Pokemon can't use the move, kind of like with Hooper Unbound's Hyperspace Fury, which if that move is hacked onto something else that isn't Hooper Unbound, it'll say that Pokemon can't use the move. Same thing with Dark Void. So if you take a Smeargle from a previous generation, because you can't sketch it this generation, take it from the previous generation, bring it into the current one, it'll say Smeargle can't use Dark Void. But this is the team. I'll go over the setup and the payoff, pretty much. And this team was infamous because, like, this time it's not the case, but when I first started using this team, I had 3 Megas. And I ended the season with 3 Megas also. Now I'll explain, because each one had its own function. I started the battle tree because that was really the only way I can show the whole team on the top screen. Still working with what I have. I'll eventually get a capture card, which would make something like this a lot easier, but there we go. Everything is ordered in order of importance for this video, as I explain it. And, of course, with VGC rules, everything gets put to level 50 regardless of the level, so once I don't need to level up anymore, I just I'm done. But anyway, this Lucario, and all the EV spreads, it's early meta, so I kept it simple. They're all 252, 252s. This Lucario, max HP, max speed. Timid nature, he's got the Focus Sash. And, well, this Crobat, max speed and max HP. These are the setup. They both have inner focus, so they can't be flinched. Much like how the one in the 2015 format functioned. It was Crobat always got the setup, but this time I don't have Smeargle the Spiky Shield, or getting some cheeky shenanigans if they choose to focus down the Crobat. The most important thing was setting up the Tailwind, but this one it's even more vital because it's going to be Z Tailwind. I have the Flying MZ on this, and then I'm trying to set up the Z Tailwind. What that does for me, like, it's normal Tailwind, but it also boosts its critical hit ratio. With that boosted critical hit ratio, Cross Poison, a move that already has a high critical hit ratio, will always score a critical hit. This is how I'm getting my anger points set up. Now, to get to that, I of course have the Tailwind. I have the Lucario. Main thing used to keep Crobat safe, follow me. Just redirect all attacks to itself. If they're going for, if I see a Trick Room, I'll just roar them out. Lucario doesn't get taunt, unfortunately, so The only reason why I would one taunt is to stop Trick Room from happening, and Roar works just fine. Final Gambit, I'll get the Heal Pulse. Heal Pulse is if I find myself switching out Lucario and safely switching in Crocodile, I can have Lucario come in, either redirect or even heal the Crocodile, because it's still Life Orb. Might switch over to one of the Pinch Berries, but Life Orb is hitting a lot of numbers. I'm familiar with the Life Orb calcs, and so far it's been working great. I haven't done any updated calcs to see, because this format is very similar to the 2015 format. So a lot of the calcs I made back then are still relevant here. I might do more calcs without the Life Orb, but for now I'm sticking with this. And then the last move, Final Gambit, it's mostly to get Lucario out of the way so that I can get a safe switch into Crocodile. Even if it gets brought down to the Focus Sash, I'd much rather Final Gambit something for 1 damage than risk them not attacking the Lucario. And I would protect with Crobat that turn, just to get that safe switch in. But let's say if there's 2 Pokemon out there, one I know I can take out with Final Gambit, and the other one isn't a threat to Crobat, I could just take that Pokemon out, get the early jump on them. They're down to 3 Pokemon, and I still got my safe switch into Crocodile with the setup. Not too much more to explain with Crobat. I do have the Super Fang, because sometimes I'm forced to use Rock Slide, and the other Pokemon isn't always going to be knocked out by Rock Slide, like Kartana. Kartana is not one-shotted by Rock Slide, it's resisted, but it does over half. The +6 Life Orb Rock Slide does over half, so bring it to half with Super Fang, and then Rock Slide will finish it off. And that's the case with a lot of Pokemon, especially with Kangaskhan, because it's a roll for Rock Slide to one-shot that. So I'd much rather not take the chance. Even though Super Fang and Rock Slide are 90 accuracy, I don't like to use Rock Slide because of that 90 accuracy. And when I was really dominating with this team and people took notice, the most common way I would lose is if I missed a Rock Slide, and they were able to take out the Crocodile. I didn't always lose because of that, but that was, at a certain point, like that was the only chance of winning, is if I missed a Rock Slide. But anyway, moving on to the man himself, Crocodile. Anger Point, max speed, max attack. I did play around with the speed back in 2015 because I wanted the Smeargle, which had which I believe was timid max speed. Another thing to mention here, even though I'm using a physical attack Cross Poison, this is a timid nature and it has extremely low attack. Actually, what is it? Okay, it's actually 0 in attack, so yeah, I was very lucky to get that. I wasn't even aiming for that, I was just trying to get as low as possible, and then I find one with 0, and I'm like, alright, we're good. I want to do as little damage to Crocodile as possible when I purposely crit it. There is that risk of poison, but it hasn't happened yet. It could happen, but that's a small price to pay. It does maximum 30 damage to my own Crocodile. Small price to play for +6 attack. But anyway, get back to this. The reason why I can get away with max speed is because I don't have to worry about accidentally outspeeding the Crobat like I did with the Smeargle, because I brought its speed low enough so that Smeargle could outspeed it, just to get the Storm Thrower off, and then I get the +6 attack on that turn. I don't have to worry about that with Crobat because Crobat is fast as fuck. That 200 speed, double under, well, Tailwind doesn't even matter, but they're both under Tailwind. Crobat will outspeed with max speed Crocodile, and that's what I'm going with. Still Rock Slide and Earthquake, but this time we have Power Trip, which is a much better option than Crunch this time around, because Power Trip is just like Stored Power, except it's a physical dark move. And it starts with an initial 20 base power, and it goes up another 20 for each positive stat boost. So I got +6 attack, adding a base power of 120 more base power to the initial 20, so that's 140 base power. Almost twice as strong as Crunch. And this needs a single target move in case I can't work around Wide Guard, or if I feel like something else isn't threatening there, they might go for a protect, and I don't have my pincer, which I'll get to. And then, boom, just single target, knock something out. Or if I predict a white guard, yeah. I mentioned that already. The calcs, again, they're very relevant to 2015, so I don't have to redo much of them. The important thing to note, Kangaskhan, it's a chance, a very high chance to one-shot with Spread Rock Slide. Or at least the standard ones from 2015. They might be a little bit more bulkier, but we have Crobat with Super Fang for that, and we'll be using Crobat a lot more in this setup than compared to 2015. Celesteela is definitely, it does more than half. Rock Slide does more than half. Power Chip annihilates. I still have to run calcs with Earthquake when it comes to grassy terrain, because grassy terrain cuts Earthquake's power in half. But it should still be, I probably should have run the calcs on Bulu just to figure that out, but Rock Slide should be enough to take it down anyway. And to move on to the support, the Mega that I'm using the most, and that has the most utility for this strategy and getting the most out of Crocodile, is Pinsir. More specifically, Mega Pinsir. Oh, it's kind of glaring there, so yeah, I'm trying my best with the glare. Can't really close the windows all that much, but yeah, protect. The attacks are simple. Protect. Smackdown is the interesting one because Mega Pinsir becomes a flying type, and in order to avoid using Rock Slide, because it does have that only 90 accuracy, 10% chance to miss, and if I miss, I'm most likely losing the Crocodile because they're going to be focusing that thing down. Smackdown can bring down a flying type or levitator onto the ground, making them susceptible to an Earthquake, which a lot of the times is the better option. Now, bulky Cresselia, Smackdown, plus an Earthquake, plus 6 Life Orb Earthquake, will take it out, even with spread. Unless it had that Key Berry, which it barely survives then. Feint gets through Protect if they try to stall up the Tailwind, gets through Wide Guard if they try to do that, and when something Wide Guards and you feint through it, doesn't matter who you target, as long as you hit one of them, the Wide Guard doesn't protect either of them anymore. And because of the Aerial Aid ability, when it gets from Mega Evolving, Ghost types aren't immune to this, so nothing is immune to the feint. And then Return, just basic stab. It's powerful. Mega Pinsir is powerful. And if I have to fall back on Mega Pinsir with Return, it's great. After Landorus does Superpower, Return one-shots. Return from Mega Pinsir one-shots Landorus, which has happened a few times. Now the other one, and this is something that I used towards the tail end of the 2015 format with this team. It's something I really like using a lot, and I did Top Cut with it, and it caught a few people off guard when I brought it. But it is Mega Medicham, but not just any Mega Medicham. As you can see, this one has its hidden ability, Telepathy. Telepathy lets it avoid damage from its partner Pokemon. When it Mega Evolves, it becomes pure power anyway. And if I'm still trying to get as much damage out there as I can with Crocodile, I can go for the Fake Out to stop something, and then fire off the Earthquake without fearing hitting my own Medicham. And most people don't know, won't see this coming. Most people think they see Medicham and think, oh, pure power. Not everyone realizes, it's got Telepathy, and if I hold off on Mega Evolving, get the Fake Out, avoids with Telepathy, and Earthquake destroys everything. That might, bait them into not protecting because, oh, he can't use Earthquake, so I have nothing to fear. Nope, you do. High Jump Kick for basic stab. It's very powerful, especially from Mega Medicham. Ice Punch, it's coverage. I consider putting Feint in here, just as another Feint Pokemon, and of course Telepathy will allow me to avoid the Earthquake, but Ice Punch I thought it was a lot more valuable, because even at -1, Mega Medicham still one-shots Landorus with Ice Punch. And at -1, it still two-shot Zapdos, so the combination of Super Fang and Ice Punch will knock that out. And of course it one-shots Mega Salamence too. Doesn't outspeed it though, but if I still have the Tailwind up, then that works just fine. And the last one, this is something new that I added here. It's another telepathy Pokemon, but it's not Mega. I'm thinking about switching to Pinchberry because I've never had an instance where Mental Herb was actually useful. No one really tries to taunt this thing. They just try to... By the time Gardevoir comes out, they're trying to take out that Crocodile. So they're not really trying to taunt the Gardevoir, because Gardevoir can easily be an attacker. Right, the EVs on these, 252 attack, 252 speed. This one, 252 speed, 252 HP. I tried to make this bulkier to survive longer, and of course it's got telepathy. And the big thing here, the big mind game, which it was very difficult to get this before Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and that's Ally Switch. It was possible in Gen 5 to have Ally Switch on this because it was a TM back then, but I didn't have it back then, and it wasn't that well. It's very difficult now to get anything in that line in Gen 5. I'm sure back then it would have been a lot easier, but having it be a tutor move was a godsend because I wanted to use this, but once I saw like it was impossible for me to get it at the time, I was like, alright, back to the drawing board. But Ally Switch, those mind games you play, if they want to try to focus that down, you reveal the Ally Switch, all of a sudden they're hitting the Gardevoir instead. They're coming up with a superpower, 4 times resisted, coming with, I guess, a bug move, well, neutral damage, coming at that, hitting with that. And it's got +2 priority also, so it will outspeed a Sucker Punch, which is, well, Sucker Punch, any kind of priority move. Sucker Punch I'm not really worried about because Crocodile resists it. But they might be sending a Mach Punch, they might be sending, especially First Impression from Golisopod. That will really mess up, that'll really mess up Crocodile, but they have the same priority. Gardevoir is going to be faster, so swap places. Gardevoir takes a hit and might be knocked out, but Crocodile's still around. And to add to the mind games, we have Helping Hand. Boost the power even further, so any Calcs would be like, oh, I'm missing this knockout, alright, I'm definitely getting it now. Heal Pulse to heal him up a little bit. Like, if I know I'm getting the knockout, might as well heal him up, because that Life Orb damage will add up. Especially if I get poisoned, which hasn't happened yet. And then Moonblast just for some damage, so it's not complete total taunt bait. So right now, that's the team I'll be playing around with first. And a side thing to mention about this Medicham, I am using it on the other team. I will explain it then. I honestly do believe that Medicham with telepathy, and then Mega Evolving, once you don't need the telepathy anymore, is one of the most underrated and hidden gems in VGC when now it's allowed. Or at least right now. If this team gets popular, like it did in 2015, then maybe people will be more aware of this little trick that I have. But only time will tell. And I've been having some decent games with it. I'll either take some recordings from the stream or just do separate recordings with it. I think I might just do separate recordings for a while before I just hop on stream. Alright. Look forward to some more battles with this team in the upcoming days.